Hi, I'm Sean, and welcome back to my Star Trek online tutorials and missions, starting from the very beginning, creating your character, all the way through to the very, very latest episodes. That'll take some time, but you're welcome to come along on the journey. Now, we have just completed In the Shadow of Cestus. When we're in our journal, we can replay it again if we want to. But we're going to move on to the next mission, which is Painful Omens, which takes place at Deep Space Station K13. So we can click Set Course here to head off to that mission. We can also look on our big map, see if we can find it. Here it is in the Orion sector. So we can click on that and kind of mosey on over there while we look at some other things. Now, we picked up a new bridge officer in the last mission here, and we've managed to equip him with some things. We can look at him to see what he can do. Here's his skills or skill tree, things he can learn, his default abilities, his traits, etc. We'll notice at the end a reputation system actually is things we can do to increase our abilities to build special weapons. It's not available to us at the moment, so we cannot do that. If we go back to our own traits, though, we can notice here now we have a whole range of traits that relate to ground and space. It's put some default ones in here, but we can look through them. So, for instance, do we want to be more aggressive, have assault training or whatever? At the moment, we have sure-footedness, which stops us from being knocked back or rooted to the spot. We have stubborn, which is very similar, or resilient. But we can change these traits. So I'm just going to stop the ship here in case it automatically flies by instead of stopping. It actually seemed to work that time. So let's look through some of these. Everyone's gameplay is different. Aggressive will give us bonus of all damage. I quite like that, the sound of that. I'm going to turn the other ones off for a second, which means taking these ticks out of these boxes. Boxes, I suppose. So we can only have 3 at the moment. All the other ones are locked until we get to certain levels, like level 10, level 20, level 30, etc. But some of the other stuff is unlocked, and we may be able to use them. So in order to put something in one of these boxes to boost our skills, we can look down these options here and decide what we want. I kind of like having bonus damage, but also in here is a +5 threat generation. That means that there's a 5% more chance that they will, the enemy will shoot at you as opposed to anyone else in the mission with you, including your away team. So it's kind of a bit of a trade-off. Don't really like having people shooting at me, so we'll ignore that one for now. Assault training will give us bonus assault weapon damage, so that's probably a good thing to have. We'll check it just for a second. Covert is a trait where you have more stealth, etc. Not much use for us at the moment. Creative is kit forms. Anyway, you can go down these and choose ones that you particularly like yourself. I tend to be more attacking, so I've gone for bonus to weapons. And in doing so, you also probably want to up your hit points. So that's what I'm going to do just for now on ground. Personal space traits. We have locked in more power to our systems, more beam weapon damage, and maximum hit points. There's a lot through here that you can do. We're just going to leave these where they are for now. We can't actually use these ones here, even though they're unlocked, because we don't have that reputation in place yet. If we go to our bridge crew, they're already maxed out, so we can't change that. Now, because we've got a new bridge officer, we've also got him sitting at a station. He's now on the TAC station. So we have 3 stations or consoles on the ship. We only have 2 crew at the moment, and they are sitting at their stations. We've looked at how to use this in a tutorial. Now, the away team, we've only got TOC there, so we're going to want to bring in other crew member because they're much more useful to us than just a security member. So we'll click this down button here, pick on our other crew member, and there he is. And here are some of the things he can do at various levels. So he's got a quick fix there. He's efficient level 2 weapons. He can make a turret, which is very, very useful because you'll see how that works on our next ground mission. He'll put a turret down which will basically fire missiles at people, and a medical generator, which is good for healing us. So this guy is actually very, very useful. Go back over here to Tazi. He's only got 1 skill. So on with the mission. Begin painful omens, and off we go. We have also got some more skill points, or 1 more skill point we can spend, which I will deal with when the loading screen has come up. Hope you're all having a fantastic day. And don't forget, obviously, I need to say something during a loading screen. So, hey, subscribe, Twitch Live, or if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel so you can keep up to date with all the missions as we work our way through.
We've arrived near Deep Space K-13, Captain. This is odd. I'm not picking up any comm traffic. No signals, nothing at all, from K-13 or the other ships in system. Sensors aren't detecting enemy vessels or warp signatures. No signs of combat either. This is peculiar. I'm not sure what to make of it.
Now, again, we're still in the original series, so our space stations are quite small and limited and unimpressive, but they are what they are. And it's really good to get that old 60s vibe and the feel of how this would have been for people watching in that era and thinking how wonderful this all was. And still is. Again, I've said before, you can find either on Netflix or out there the new versions of the original series with upgraded graphics and special effects.
Shields and charging weapons.
Looks like we're in for a fight here. Now, you don't want to dive right in and try and kill everyone at the same time. We're not that powerful yet, so let's just take them out one at a time. And not always possible. Again, watch out for your shields and your hull strength, and if necessary, use your various batteries to pull these towers back up to where they should. So we're going to concentrate on 1 ship at a time. Otherwise, their strengths and their shields will come back up and make it hard for us to kill them if we keep swapping from one enemy to the other. If you click on a ship that targets that ship, we can click on fire all, fire torpedoes, or fire beam weapons, unless of course we've got it all on auto fire, which we have because it's easier for us at the moment. and in that respect, they will just fire when they're ready and capable. So don't forget we have fast maneuver here, so we can be less easy to hit. We can increase our torpedo rate of fire. And just like one of the ships in the last mission, this one is a little bit harder to kill. The game is not going to just let us destroy things. We have to fight for it. We have to work for it. But the stronger our ship, and the bigger our weapons, the easier it will be to
All
destroy
ships disabled, Captain.
the enemy ships. So we're going to head over and have a little look at this ship
Captain,
we just
those
blown
were
up.
the Starfleet ships assigned to patrol this sector. I don't think that was a war game or training sim. Their weapons were at full power.
And we can just have a look at it. We don't have to rush to talk to them, but here we go. We'll see what's going on and why they attacked us.
Stay away! They're taking control! Don't come near us! They'll take you too! The station came from the station!
Message from Starfleet Command, Captain. We're to investigate the situation immediately.
Okay, so we need to head over to the station and see what's going on. One suspects we are going to beam down and fully investigate this situation. First off, we'll scan the system or scan the space
No
station.
signs of combat on board the station, Captain. No hostile life form readings either. Everything's quiet. Sensors are picking up a number of life signs over there, but I'm not reading any unusual activity. All of the station systems seem to be functioning normally. Think we should beam over and have a look around?
I certainly do. Let's go and have a look. So we'll click on landing party, and now we have two crew members coming with us on our away team. Eventually you'll get a maximum 4 people who can come with you, so that's a team of 5. We've only got 2 people at the moment, so we're going to beam them down.
I don't like this. No one's at their duty stations. Not even the transporter operator. Station's not on alert. What's happening? Tricorder's picking up a life sign nearby. Looks like they're in sickbay just across the hall.
Now if you look at your mini-map, you can see lots of red dots. These are the enemies, so we're forewarned that we're going to get into a fight. And on the big map, we can get a much better detail of what's going on here and what rooms they're in. So they can look pretty close on the mini map, but on the big map, you can actually see they're in different rooms. So it's not going to be an immediate situation when we go into the corridor. However, you may want to get your weapons ready because there is going to be a fight.
Those blast points on the wall are from phaser fire. There was a fight here. But with whom? No sign of Klingon or Romulan weapon fire, just Federation.
The lights have all been dimmed, but it looks like sickbay's still operational. Over to the right.
So on our right-hand side here is our mission objectives, and the next one is to explore sickbay. So although the map shows that the targets are ahead and in this room to the right, we've actually got to go to sickbay first. So we'll do an about face, and here is sick bay, and we might
Captain,
just find
I
out
think I
what's
saw
going on.
motion in that room to the left.
Stop where you are and turn about slowly. I need to determine if you are infected. Neural parasites. A life form last encountered by the crew of the Enterprise at Deneva Colony. Those possessed by the creatures tend to engage in hostilities with the uninfected, the better to render them fit for infestation. Temet, and while you have not engaged in hostilities thus far, I have seen infected employ false passivity in order to lure unwary prey. A tricorder scan of your adrenaline levels should verify your status. Scans show a slightly elevated level of adrenaline, though nowhere near that of an infected life form. Thank you for your patience. One can never be too cautious where these parasites are concerned.
So we have an option here. The green one will just move us on in the story, or the blue one will tell us more about the parasites. So let's have a look. We're immersed in the story.
They are a life form that propagates by infiltrating the nervous system of a host creature. Through this neural link, they can compel their host to obey their bidding. They can also inflict extreme pain upon the host at will, and do so to discourage attempts at resistance. While effective, this punishment can lead to permanent neurological damage or death. At this time, most of the station personnel have become infected. While there is a possibility of uninfected survivors, I must warn that it is remote. According to Starfleet data files, the parasites can be safely destroyed by exposure to high-intensity ultraviolet light. My attempts at reconfiguring the station's lighting thus far have been unsuccessful. I am a physician, not a habitat engineer.
I like that little throwback. Did you get that? Bit like McCoy saying, I'm a doctor, not a bricklayer, Jim. So I like that. There's little bits in the game, little what they sometimes call Easter eggs or whatever. I kind of like that.
As a precaution, I have developed a serum that can render a person toxic to the creatures. However, medical supplies here are limited. I have enough serum to inoculate your landing party and one other person.
Now there's a voice I wasn't expecting. I take it you heard my distress call then. Well, in case you haven't noticed, the station's been overrun by neural parasites. The wee devils are back with a vengeance.
And we get to meet Mr. Scott. Hello, Mr. Scott. How are you?
I'm afraid not. I'm in the auxiliary control room down on the engineering deck. The place is filthy with parasites, so you'll understand if I don't go out for a wee jaunt.
See, playing the original series from startup is nice. It's a nice throwback if you're of an age, as I've said before, bring back some good memories.
I have secured a small amount of security gear. It may give you another edge against the parasites.
So here we have to collect the security gear. And at the moment, everything is really close to us, so we're not actually having to move around, but we'll do that anyway because we can, and it shows a better idea of what you need to do in game to get close enough to take items. And here it is. It ends up in our inventory. We've got some extra weapons, some better body armor.
If we pass through the mess hall, we can access a turbo lift to reach engineering. Whenever you are ready.
So we'll be ready when we equip any new gear. So let's have a look if it's better than stuff we already have. So we go to our character status. and we have a look. Mouse over this body armor. We find our current is Mark II, and the one offered is only Mark I. So we are going to stick to what we have. Also, our weapons are better. Having said that, if we go to our officers and have a look, this officer doesn't actually have any body armor, so they desperately need some. So we'll drag that over and drop it where it goes. We just check out if the weapons are better. It's no better, so we leave that. And again on Scarvrin, we will give him some body armor. So don't forget your crew, because you need them, and if they haven't got on the appropriate body armor or shields or weapons to do the damage, they're going to die and you are going to be left on your own, and nobody wants that. While we're here as well, we notice we're in a safe environment, so we are purchase skills is flashing. So let's see what we have in here. We notice we have 1 space point left. And although we are not in space, we're going to spend it now because we're eventually going to go back up there. And just to have a little bit of more skills is going to help us out. So we click on space, and then we decide whether we're going to put it under engineering, science, or tactical. Again, now, because we are engineering, we could put it here, but we may want to spread the love a little bit, and being able to bring your shields back online quicker is very, very useful. Just putting 1 point there will allow our shields to heal 25% faster, and I think that's very important at this stage. So we are going to highlight that and purchase. And that lights up, and now we have better shields to go with our better hull capacity from last time. Now, if you like, you can have a little look around, because all this has been built, but generally people will run straight out of the door, and this becomes a bit of a waste of time. You notice you can't go through doors if there's nothing for you to do in that part of the ship. So we'll head back out. And now we are going to proceed through to the mess hall. On our mini map, you see it's highlighted in a green circle, or on the main map, we know in here are 3 enemies, and we're going to need to deal with those. So as soon as we go through this door, we're going to find out where they are, and we're going to hit them fast.
Careful.
You notice your crew members or away team are also firing and doing things independently of you. So you don't have to worry about everyone all the time, but just keep your eye
Scans, sir. It may
on
be
your health bars up
fascinating.
here.
I'm detecting an unusually high level of tachyons nearby. Based on these readings, it is possible that a temporal event has occurred on the station within the last 4.2 hours.
Now you'll notice if you look down at this person we are standing on, unfortunately, he's got something attached to his back there, which is a parasite, and this comes from one of the original series episodes, so that also is quite nice to have that little Easter egg in there. We need to take the turbo lift to the engineering deck now, so everything's quite logical in its progression here. So we'll follow our way round until we find a turbo lift. There will be people in our way. We will deal with them as we come across them. Now there's one down here. You can see there's a character. We put our cursor on him. He goes red, which means he is an enemy. There's also one on the mini-map. You can see here there's one to our right. And we don't want to get caught in the crossfire, so we're going to come down and we're going to deal with him. As quick as we can. We'll take him out. Now, this is interesting because we need to find crafting materials. And in this room, there's some here. I'm going to take us out of this room and show you with our scanner. So remember before we talked about this scanner up here, which can help us find the direction to go or objects or people of interest. If we use it when we are out and about exploring, it will also tell us where there are some crafting materials. So for instance, it says anomaly, that's a crafting material. And it also shows where it is with that little blue beam. So rather than gung-ho through everything, as I say, we explore a little bit. We didn't need to come in here and kill this guy, but we do need to come and get this crafting material. And here we're going to learn how to pick stuff up or at least get some more of the stuff we're scanning. So we scan this item here and we get a waveform which we have to match. And in order to do that, you'll see there was some blue waves and some red waves. We use the up and down arrows to increase or decrease the size of the wave, and the left and right to increase the length of the wave until it matches the background color, and then we pick up some crafting materials. And in our inventory, it comes under R&D. And here we are. We managed to get 4 pieces of titanium, and that will come in useful at a later date when we start crafting stuff, which we can't do yet. I've shown you these menus previously on the higher tune in the tutorial about using the menus. This would have been in tutorial menus 1. And the reason was because at this level we can't do it, and I wanted to show you all the menus, but they are grayed out. But we need to collect material as we go. And now we head on back down towards the turbo lift. It's fairly easy to just stand and shoot when it's on automatic. Sometimes you need to move around a bit and not get shot so much, but on the whole at this level, not too much problem. Again, don't forget on your journey, if you like, take some screenshots for memory so you can see what you look like, who was with you, who your crew was along the way, maybe even showing what you did or how the old ships used to look. Because when you get to level 65, you'll have much more grand looking ships and much more pretty things to look at, and you maybe will forget your origins. So into the turbo lift, we've only got one option here. Sometimes you'll have options to go to various floors. This one we need to go to engineering.
The auxiliary control station is down the hall to our right. I'm reading a single human life form within the room. The biosigns match those of Commander Scott in the Starfleet Medical Database.
So on our big map, we can see if we turn around, we're going to face some enemy along these corridors, but it's not our objective at the moment. We need to go and talk to Scotty in this auxiliary control room. So in we go. And
hi there.
hey,
It's good to see a friendly face.
how you doing, Scotty? So look, very nice, old-fashioned look again. And we're getting to talk to one of our old family members, if you like, if you are a fan of the original series.
Ah, there you are. I was beginning to get a bit concerned. Thought you might have been taken by those little beasties. I'll just lock the door so none of them can get in while we discuss our next course of action. Now that you're here, we've some work to do. The way I see it, we need to get to main engineering and turn on the station's ultraviolet lighting. That'll sort the nasty buggers out properly.
While I cannot attest to the ability of UV light to sort Denivan parasites, it will initiate a complete molecular breakdown within all parasites exposed to it.
And this is following the storyline or the solution of the original
Aye,
series.
she's a Vulcan, all right. I was trying to override the lighting controls from here. It looks like someone sabotaged several duotronic relays. We have to repair them if we're going to have any chance of saving the station. Before we go, grab yourself a kit from the crate there. It might come in handy. We better get a move on. The parasites aren't ones to loiter about.
Get yourself a kit from the crate and equip it. So, where is our crate? And here it is on the table. So we've picked up some equipment. We need to go into
Aye, this is one of the broken relays, right here.
character screen, which also brings our inventory up at the same time.
That one was easy. Just a few more to go.
We were in R&D.
All right, there are several ways through the engineering section here. Keep in mind that the parasites tend to stay in dark corners. If you want to avoid them, do your best to stay in the lit areas.
Thank you, Scotty. So we go back from R&D back to inventory. If you click on a window, it comes on top of the other window, just as in normal computer programs. Now, here we find that we've actually got an engineering kit. Excuse me. And on our character, we can wear kits. Bridge officers cannot do that. This is something only your character or toon can do. So we're going to grab that kit. It's actually a kit module. Notice it can't go on the kits. So we're going to drop it in kit modules. Now what this one does, if you look at it, it says it's a photon grenade launcher. So as soon as you pop it in your kit modules, it comes down to your abilities bar down the bottom. It's got a little countdown here because we've just equipped it. And we can only use it once every so many seconds. And it allows us to create a photon mortar that launches bombs at the targets within 40 meters. So it's quite a good ranged weapon. We can use it once every, or it fires once every 4 seconds until it's been destroyed. Sometimes they only last for a certain amount of time and will self-destruct. Sometimes the enemy will shoot at them and destroy them. So we'll be using that shortly. Notice how this bar now, there's only 2 extra spaces to go. We're going to end up with more abilities. And if we remember from the way we did it in the ship, we can click on this toolbar here that says view all available abilities. And then we can drag abilities to this tray. We may or may not have them all there already. We should have everything here should already be listed because we've got enough slots for it. Sometimes you can't equip everything all the time, or you won't want to. But here we just check down. We have resuscitation, which means if a crew member has been knocked unconscious, we can revive them. And we should do that to keep our crew all together. Here is our mortar, which is on the end here. This one is reroute powder shields. Rifle butt is when you get up close, you can hit them with your rifle. Here is our hypo and shield charges and sniper shot. As one of our types of fire. or our beam setting to fire a different type of shot. Now, again, what I did with the ship is I arranged all the attacking stuff on the left and defensive on the right. So what we're going to do, we're going to rearrange this HUD at the moment because it's a bit higgledy-piggledy. We are also going to adjust the number of trays to 2. I know there's nothing there at the moment, but there will be, and it will jog our memory later when we get some more items. We'll see them come up here as opposed to not being able to see them and forgetting or not realizing we have them. Now, in order to rearrange your tray, the easiest way to do it at the beginning is to make sure it's unlocked. Right-click on all the items and pull them out of your tray. I'm hoping in some future update they make an ability to clear the tray completely in one go. Otherwise, when you've got 30 items you can do here, it takes a long time to do that. So we go top to bottom. Your rifle butt is going to be probably the third option you're going to use. So I drag it down. It is an attacking option. And we'll drop it down to number 3. Now these buttons 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they're hotkeys that if you're more a keyboard user, instead of clicking on this with your mouse button, you'll just press the key. I find I'm quite quick at the old clicking, and I don't need to use the number keys. So that's attacking. Now here's a hypo, that's defensive, so we'll pop it over the defensive side and arrange them in a way that's easy for you, where you think you might click or press, and where it's more convenient. And when we get more things in the trays here, I'll explain how I do that. So we put our shields and our hypos next to each other. Now our sniper shot is our first left click button on the mouse for shooting, so we put that on number 1. Actually, it's our second. We put it on number 2. And our phaser beam is number 1. It doesn't actually matter which way around that is. As you see, the green, we've got them set to auto fire at the moment. When you put everything in your tray, you can lock it, but here we still got some more Resuscitate crew members or other team members. We'll pop that down the bottom there. Here we've got our mortar fabrication. We'll pop that underneath on the left. Now I'm using 2 rows because it's easier to separate defense from attack. Here is a more defensive thing, so we'll pop that over here. And we've already dealt with the rest. So we'll lock our tray. Locking our tray means that we cannot drag these things off and lose them. All right, so we're ready to move along now. So we'll just click on this button to say thank you, Mr. Scott. And we're ready to go. So we need to go to these areas here. End of this corridor and near the end of this corridor, which means working our way past these enemies. Sometimes you will want to shoot your way through. Sometimes you'll want to, once you've killed these people, take the easy route. Now these people will move around in a lot of cases, so they may be here now, but they may have moved once you start this part of the mission. So off we go. Now here you can see they're moving around and they're now attacking us. Easiest way to target them is to push your tab key, which targets the next enemy, especially if you can't see them, because here it's there's a lot of smoke going on. So pushing the tab key is easier than trying to find the enemy to click on them. Now, remember, we've just managed to get hold of this mortar fabrication item. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show
Remember,
you.
the parasites like the dark. Wee devils that they are.
Right, so the parasites like the dark, and it's fairly dark in that, so you might actually want to go round. Again, it's up to you. Now, here are some baddies. So what I'm going to do is place this mortar fabrication down here. He builds a little mortar bomb, and it will start attacking the enemies. Unfortunately, my bridge crew have already killed them, so it's not going to do us too much good. But you've seen how to place it, and eventually we'll find somewhere we're going to go. Now, we notice we've gone a bit too far here in showing you how to do stuff, so we'll turn around and we'll go back and fix this. Thing we need to do down here.
I'll have this fixed up straight away.
Right, so we've got Scotty here.
That takes care of that. No
And he's done his thing. You'll notice it's no longer a green circle. Now the next thing to do is to decide if you're going to go gung-ho and kill everyone, which is quite good fun. You also get experience points for killing people, so it's probably a good idea. You don't have to. You can just work your way straight to here. We'll eventually probably kill everyone anyway because they'll move around. But we need to go up to this here. So down the corridor and turning to our left. We can zoom in a bit here if we need to. It's not always easy to see where you are on the mini-map. And here we'll plonk another... I want to put another mortar fabrication down, but we're not actually in a position where we need it, so we'll just hang fire on that for a while.
This one just needs new fuses.
And again, I couldn't see the enemy here. He's in the smoke. I knew he was there. He was on the mini-map, so I pushed tab, and we auto fired at him. Now we're being hunted down here, which is quite cool. On the right hand side, we need to repair some more relays. We've got one to go. We need to find it. Our arrow points to the bottom left hand side of the mini map. Big map shows us it's all the way down here, so we're going to go along the corridor, turn left all the way along. We're going to actually I'm going to drop a mortar around here to offer us a bit of defense. So when we get to here, I'm going to drop this mortar here, and I'm going to back away and see if we can get the mortar to do its thing. Unfortunately, I think that my crew is beating me to it, and that's okay too. So we'll put it down here, and maybe we can draw some people out from this smoke, just for fun. So let's run away, see if they'll chase us. And no, my crew are dealing to them. So we'll have to wait to see the mortar in action, I guess. Now here's the other thing that needs repairing.
Now this may be a bit tricky.
We'll put a mortar fabrication down here because that way it will help us defend ourselves and help Scotty
Just a wee bit longer.
have more time to do his thing. Notice they're firing to destroy this grenade launcher. So we've repaired the relays, and now we need to go to main engineering. It's along this corridor to the left a little bit. And we're going to shoot these people along the way because we want the XP points. They will help improve our character and give us our upgrade points as we go along. Here we see there's some parasites on the floor. We can deal to those as well. So let's just come back, deal with any stragglers. Okay, now when we go through this door, we can see there are some enemies behind the door. In some cases, it's a good idea to lay down something to help defend your position if they come and rush you at the door, or it can fire through the door. So we'll put this mortar down here ready, and as soon as it's ready, we can go through the door and see if anyone's here and kill them, but there isn't. Here is our flashing lights. We need to activate the UV lighting, which with a bit of luck will kill all the parasites off. That worked in the original series. Let's have a look.
Ah, it looks like someone has overridden the command codes. You best get to the command center and see what you can do from there. I'll stay here, barricade the door, and keep trying to get those UV lights going.
Now here we are going to get to use the good old Jeffries tubes, which means we can go from deck to deck without using the corridors, of course. Sometimes it's a good way to get around corridors that are blocked off, etc. But they'll only let you use it in game if you have to do that. Here we'll drop down another mortar launcher, grenade launcher, because you can.
Look, who are those soldiers? They're definitely not Starfleet.
So don't be afraid to use your add-on weapons and stuff. That's
Get
what
the
they're
lights.
there for.
The commander's down.
Now, we've already been told there's some people on the ship somewhere. We can actually go and have a look at them through the window. They can't get us, we can't get them, and we can go, hey, there are people on the ship. Bad people. Right, so to our flashing lights, activate the UV station lighting, and let's see what that does for us. Now, just as in the original series, it's killing the parasites off. So that's one less problem we need to deal with.
The parasites, they're dying. All of them.
Salvage what you can and send a squad to kill the Federation vermin.
Well, they don't sound very nice at all. Defeat the alien intruders. So let's do just that. We're dropping the mortar down. And, well, they didn't take too long to dispatch.
We need to talk. Actually, the name's Daniels. This may be a little difficult to absorb, but recent events may make it more plausible. I'm actually from the future. I can't tell you how far. Just that it's a future worth protecting. That's why I'm here now. The aliens we're fighting are called the Nakul, and they're waging a temporal Cold War with us. They're trying to change the timeline here in order to disrupt the future. Understand that I follow a temporal version of the Prime Directive. There's only so much I can reveal to you. Trust that we're doing the right thing here. I can't tell you how far, just that it's a future worth protecting.
Now, if you've seen Star Trek Enterprise TV series, you'll know who Daniels is. He basically pops up from now now and then and tells us he's trying to save the future. It's all timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly stuff. Just go with it. What it's going to do is allow us the ability very shortly to join the main time stream. If you have played along the Discovery timeline, you will also run into Daniels. So eventually, after a couple of missions or a story arc, you will end up all in the same space and time playing together.
Time's a factor. We need to stop the Nakul from obtaining the neural parasites. The Nakul ship that brought these invaders is now fighting the USS Ptolemy. Someone must have sent a distress call. Unfortunately, Ptolemy is no match for the Nakul. Neither is your ship, at least not alone. We should eliminate the parasites on the ships you fought earlier. Those crews will help you once their minds are their own again. It's risky, but it's our best shot here.
We can return to the ship on your orders.
Now notice here there is an item in the background we can pick up. So we're not going to return to the ship right now. We always want to do our pickups. And remember, there may be some more building materials for R&D, so we'll just scan the area and find out. It tells us there are not, so we can now return to the ship. And you'll notice down at the bottom right, it says beam to ship. Now, when you're playing a mission, you can actually pause the game. But unfortunately, it only allows you to pause it for 45 seconds. So it's not long enough to do anything apart from maybe run and grab a drink or something like that. So basically, if you want to have a break, find yourself a safe spot and just stay there. Otherwise, if you leave yourself somewhere where there are still some enemy, you'll disappear to get a sandwich and come back and you'll be dead because you won't be able to defend yourself. So now we're ready to beam up to the ship.
We can return to the ship on your orders.
So we're ending up back in space.
While we rescue the other ships, but they won't last long. K-13 is hailing us, Captain.
We need to talk to the space station again.
I'm transferring command codes to you now. Use them to remotely access the computer on those disabled ships and emit an ultraviolet flash inside.
So disabled ships are the ones with the green gases coming out. So we need to fly to them and we'll automatically be able to flash them with ultraviolet light. And that will allow the ships to help us in the battle that is to come.
This is Captain Seralto, the Ptolemy. We have engaged the enemy ship, but we are outmatched.
And we need to
please restore those ships and join the fight quickly.
Get these ships going. If we just immediately go and attack the enemy ship, we are going to get killed.
That did it.
There's one.
Looks like everyone's coming around. The parasites are gone.
And we fly to the
This is
next
Captain
ship.
Doherty of the USS Myrmidon. What happened? What's going on?
You notice there's no green gases escaping, and he's about to join the fight.
Parasites? What? Okay, sorry. We're right behind you, Captain. Lead the way.
And we were close enough to get both ships at the same time by the looks of it. So now we have to defeat the Nakul ship, which is firing on our comrade over here. So we will turn and head towards them. They are red dots on our mini-map. And we can double-click on the ship to attack it, or we can, again, use our tab button. You notice he's quite a large ship. She's a level 2 ship. But there's 4 of us, so it shouldn't really be an issue. Just keep your eye on your own shield and your hull. And the quarterback is toast.
Fine work, Captain. You sent those devils back to wherever they came from. Aye, we do have a wee problem, however. The burst I sent, when combined with the power source, created a feedback pulse. The feedback is creating some kind of spatial anomaly, which is beginning to pull the station in. We need to evacuate, immediately.
So we're going to head over to K13 and beam their crew off.
Scott here. The portal's collapsing. We're in for a right bumpy ride.
Everyone's aboard. Get us clear before that portal blows. There she goes. I don't think anyone's ever seen a station do that.
Captain, before K-13 was pulled into the vortex, I picked up a few distress signals from inside the station.
Perhaps not. After all, it was a temporal vortex. They may well survive. In another time. Well then, it's been quite a day, hasn't it? Neural parasites, time-traveling raiders. Why, things will seem almost normal once I'm back on the Enterprise. Speaking of, I'm sure the ships here can give me a lift back to her now that they're parasite-free. If Starfleet Command gives you any grief on this, remind them that lives are more valuable than equipment. And you saved a lot of lives today.
I apologize for springing all of this on you at the last minute, and I'll explain more as soon as I can. For now, I can tell you that history is unfolding as it should, and that was not the end of K-13. You're building a fine tradition of making the right decisions in crisis situations. In the meantime, don't talk to anyone about the Nakul or their time travel. We can't risk any further corruption of the timeline.
System scans clear, Captain. Looks like everything's getting back to normal. We can leave the system on your orders.
And so we have completed another mission.
Let me get this straight. K-13, an entire space station, just disappeared into some type of spatial anomaly? And I thought some of Kirk's after-action reports were a little out there. Starfleet Command won't be pleased with the loss of K-13, or the people that were still on board. But they'll be happy to hear about the lives you did save. Good work out there. Keep it up.
So Painful Omens, that was a pretty cool mission. It brought us some memories back of the original series as well. We also got to play with Scotty. That was really, really cool. Let's scroll down. We will take our rewards.
Stay safe.
Congratulations, Lieutenant.
We've managed to get a new officer, to Matt. Again, we could change her uniform. We could rename her. We don't need to at this stage because we're using a standard uniform. And the name's just fine, but some people will change them to characters they like Spock or T'Pol or whatever. But be original. Be original. Use names that you like. This one's fine. I'm going to leave it. We're going to click OK. We'll go to our character screen here, and we can see there's Tamet. She's a new officer. We now have 3, so lots to go, but that's really cool. We can see that she has no body armor, and if we're in our inventory, we can have a look to see if we have any for her, which we do not. She's got a standard shield. First thing we do is make sure we don't need an upgrade to our shield. We don't, because we've got a 2. So we can give her the shield that's sitting in our inventory and replace her basic one. And the basic one we will get rid of. It has no value. And again, we would just check the weapons, but she's got a phaser that is as good as anything in our inventory. And we do have some small shield charges here. I like to give them to my away team because I'm more capable of looking after myself and not getting blown up or dead than they can be at times. So we'll give her those shield repairs there. We'll notice also there's some grayed out stuff here because it can't be put on a person. So we go to our ship, USS Hawkmoon, and we can see now we have this option we can use, which is an engine battery. Our device slots are full. We've only got 2 at the moment, so we can't actually put it anywhere without taking something else off. So we could remove the shields and we could remove the weapons batteries, but I'm going to leave them there because they're more useful. Here we see we have an upgrade to our torpedo launcher to Mark II. On the ship, we only have a Mark I torpedo launcher. Now we have an option. We could swap out the aft phaser beams here and put some torpedoes on the back. You notice the phasers have 179.6 DPS and the torpedoes have 352. Now I quite like the fact that we can fire torpedoes out of our butts, so I'm going to plonk that in there. So now we've got only 1 phaser beam weapon, but we do have 2 lots of torpedoes. I'm going to swap the one that we've just put on the back to go on the front because I'm pretty much a heads-on kind of a player. So we'll just left click on that, drag it to where the other one is, and they'll swap over. Again, this is up to you. You may say, hey, I'd rather have the phaser beams on the back. But for now, I'm putting the torpedoes, personal choice. Also over here, we have an upgrade to our warp core. This is a Mark II. It'll give us additional shield power because the power comes from the warp engines, and also allows us to travel faster in sector space. So we'll just swap out the one that we got with the ship that's as much use as a chocolate teapot at this stage. So we can either drag it across or, as I said, we can click on the place where it goes and select it in that manner. Keep your inventory tidy, so we will get rid of the original warp core. It has a 0 value. Now we could of course get rid of the beams that we've taken off, but just for now, as we're trying the torpedoes out on the back, we're not really sure if they're going to work for us. We're going to leave this in our inventory in case we decide to put it back on the ship. Here we have no extra consoles yet. We haven't found any or earned any, so we will get some eventually. We can come out of this screen. We can see here the purchase skills is flashing again, so we'll go in here. This is all kind of maintenance, daily stuff to do in between missions while you're actually not under attack or trying to do something you've been told to do. So here we go to the bottom. We've got a space point. Make sure space is highlighted. And we could now spend it on another engineering thing to help our hull. We could spend it on another science thing to help our shields. But why don't we spread the love and either give it to a weapons training, which gives us a skill bonus and an increased damage bonus of 25%, or we can, that is on beam weapons, our energy weapons, or we can put it on projectiles, which is torpedoes. Beams are what we use mostly, and they fire more often than torpedoes do because of their recharge rate. So we will pop that onto our energy weapons, and bang, there we go. So all the time we're doing this, stats will be going up, the ship stats will be going up, and we're progressing towards the next level. Now we go to stations. Look, we have our new person sitting here. We have Tamet on the science station or console, and she can use a tractor beam. So when we go into space again with our ship, we will be able to use a tractor beam down here to pull our targets towards us. While we're using it, it does cause some damage. The other thing it does, it stops them getting away or maneuvering away from our weapons. So for now, that's a good trait to have. So, okay, we're coming up to our next mission, which will be the return to Babel.
We have a problem at Babel. Caridian rebels have taken several Federation trade officials hostage. They're threatening to kill them unless the UFP withdraws from the Corridan sector. I'd like you to work with the negotiation team and try to resolve this peacefully.
Nothing really gets resolved too peacefully in game. Sometimes it happens. Here are our rewards. We're going to get a console, our very first console, a new deflector array, some dilithium ore, and we get to choose our next officer, whether it's going to be a Vulcan, human male, or a Terralite. Now, what we can do here, when you hold your mouse over, you get a big list of their abilities come up. So you need to decide which officer will suit what you want to do the most. For instance, on Vulcan, he can increase the way our beam weapons work and change our attack patterns. The human male increases our torpedoes or cannons, and the Tellarite also does torpedoes and cannons, but also different attack patterns. And you'll notice on the ground there's some different ground traits as well. So again, personal choice, and we'll come to that when we actually finish the mission. So we accept the mission. We can go into our episodes, and we can see.
I need to speak with you in my quarters. I think it's time for that explanation I owe you.
Good old Daniels. We'll go to talk to him shortly. But we can see we've now finished Space Dock, Shadow of Cestrus, and Painful Omens. We can replay them if we want to. If we replay them, we will get some more energy credits and some more experience points, but it's not necessary. So Return to Babel is the next one. So thank you very much for watching this mission, which was Painful Omens, and I look forward to seeing you in the next mission.